G'day, champions.
Hello.
Welcome. That was a very spicy introduction. Very spicy hello.
Well, you said I was too sultry last time, so now I'm being spicy.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. How you doing? How we feeling? Welcome back, everyone.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Alive, well.
I didn't stay up heaps late playing Civ this time, so...
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome on back to the A to Z podcast, A to Z podcast. Again, fight about it in the comments. I'm going A to Z. That's my inclination. With your hosts, Zoe and...
Ellen. Why is it
Alan?
Z?
Why not? So I
Z?
spell my name is Z-O-E.
Yeah.
In the song, you sing it, you end with the Z because it rhymes.
X, Y, Z.
So, today's episode B. If you missed episode A, I mean, go back and listen to it. Or you don't have to because there's literally no continuity except for, I guess, if we create in-jokes or something in this, in which case, I mean, or just, go and listen to it because engagement and appreciate you. But I guess first things first, we're trying a new audio setup, a new layout format, etc. 2 mics in this room was getting a lot of weird feedback. William's trying to chew the paperwork. Thank you, William. So, and also feedback for Alan to speak a bit bloody louder. So we're trying something different. Hopefully this sounds all good and a bit clearer. Let us know. If not.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm just kind of watching the levels as we go.
So episode B, our topic for this week is Bubba Yaga and belief. So kind of jumping into some folklore stories about the Bubba Yaga. And, in general, random human belief system, belief in folklore, what's their place in the world? Why do we believe in them? Why do humans need them or have had them, etc.? It's a very, we're not going to go full deep philosophical of why is the Bubba Yaga? But kind of just the alliteration sounds nice to have 2 B words. So chucking that in there. Also because I went on an absolute rabbit hole and there's more than just the Bubba Yaga.
I'm shocked.
You're startled that I got distracted.
Ooh, see, you're talking about the Bubba Yaga and now
The
it's
wind's
spooky
picking up.
wind. Ooh.
So yeah, basically researching this topic, I went down the rabbit hole into Slavic mythology in general. So I started off with the Bubba Yaga. That wind, oh my god.
Every time you say Bubba Yaga, it's like, ooh.
It gets more intense. So yeah, I never really looked into Slavic mythology, which is a bit odd. I recognize it as a bit odd, considering my background, big Slav energy. My family is from Poland and Ukraine, but never really grew up with, nan-telling folklore stories and things like that, which then got me thinking as well, why didn't we have more folklore things? I grew up with plenty of other traditions or Christmas and Easter traditions, Polish stuff. For anyone listening on the audio format and you want to see a visual of little baby me, in Polish, dance gear, get up. I'm going to present Alan a picture right now to blind react. I'll show you lovelies at home on the who are watching on the YouTube. But tiny me, so we grew up with plenty of other, but I was like, why not the folk stories? Which then also got me thinking, I kind of maybe realised that, maybe the reason Nan didn't have cautionary tales or folk stories was because of the war.
Yeah, it was its own.
Yeah, you're probably less concerned about the witch in the woods gonna eat your kids when there's literal Nazis bombing your house. So I think
They were the real monsters.
they were the real witches all along.
No, dude.
Actually, monsters is better. Witches are cool. So long story short, looking into the Bubba Yaga, I went down a full rabbit hole because I was I've never really, looked into it, researched it. I think most, maybe, Western, air quotes, cultures know a lot about Greek mythology, Roman mythology, astrology, or Norse mythology and stuff. I know you've got an interest.
Yep. Got a book? I don't know. I got really interested in Norse mythology and I don't know if it was, I've got friends that are from Finland and that kind of region. And then obviously everybody kind of knows that I really like the God of War game, the PS4 soft reboot, if you will. Yeah. So, cause I used to travel for work all the time, I came across a book, Norse mythology book. And I thought, yeah, I'll pick that up and read it in the airport. And, it's very interesting. Odin's quite the jerk.
Quite the guy. quite the all-father, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Slavic mythology, I think I'm about to have a new side hobby if there's like so many random sources I could find online, but then there's like so much and so little at the same time for, I guess, translating is going to be an issue. Written documentation seems to be an issue as well because of, certain stories being just passed down verbally or oral tradition. But if anyone's got a sick recommendation for some good Slav mythology compilations, this is we're getting into. Long story short, this episode might be a little less structured than the previous one, but I'm going to try and loop it around in a nice, neat little bow, going from the past to the present, representations in modern times and so on. So, Alan.
Yes.
Do you know what a Baba Yaga is, or have you heard the name before?
Yes.
What's your brief or limited understanding of the Baba Yaga? Or Baba Yaga, whichever pronunciation you prefer.
So it's what the Russian mafia calls John Wick.
Oh, look out. Hello, Grandma Witch in the Forest. That is honestly one of the oddest. I don't know if that's like a localization thing. Like
they meant to call John Wick something else and nobody picked it up. And I think I saw like one of those honest trailers thing, and they're like, oh, Baba Yaga means witch in the woods. Like, are you sure you didn't mean to call him this, which sounds really similar to Baba Yaga? And then they're just like, no one will notice, just move on. But no,
it's a very specifically, like, I guess, gendered word as well. Like Baba Yaga is very specifically like
Baba.
Woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my vibe on that is they probably would try and be like, oh yeah, boogeyman, but it's, Russian, so it sounds spooky. And it's like, I mean, you know what? Maybe Keanu Reeves seems pretty cool with his masculinity. Maybe he's okay with being an evil witch in a hut in the woods, He seems pretty chill about it.
What is the Russian word for boogeyman?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. There's probably plenty of different flavors. But I guess specifically for all the stuff today, it's generally Slavic. So not purely just Russian or purely just Polish or whatever. There's a lot of options here.
They screwed it up.
Oh, Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. But yeah, they were like, Baba Yaga, that's the wrong word.
That's
too late. We're in.
We're in. Commit.
We're in the third one now. We can't change it. Anyway, back to your original question. My understanding is it's like Witch in the Woods, probably what a lot of those kind of Hansel and Gretel type things are based off of.
Yeah. So for a brief summary, in Slavic folklore, also I guess for anyone not aware, Slavs, I guess a lot of, as countries changed and blah, 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 we're talking like Russia, Poland, Ukraine, kind of going down into the Baltics occasionally. You've got Croatia, Macedonia, these stories kind of share and spill into pockets of many countries. So it's not just one, and potentially each, country in that area might have a different word for it, but a similar vibe sort of thing. So it's a pretty large area that it could cover, and then also a large interpretation or lots of room for interpretation of different flavors of, certain characters or creatures. So Baba Yaga is a supernatural being or a trio of sisters that go by the same name. So it's either one Baba Yaga or Baba Yaga is a collective of three sort of thing. Typically appearing as a deformed or scary looking old woman. Typically Baba Yaga lived in a hut. The hut is described as standing on chicken legs. So not like a bunch of little chicken legs, like literal house-sized chicken thighs and feeties, like just straight up chicken feet, which is pretty cool. In certain narratives with Baba Yaga, for her appearance, typically the features that you're going to get are the gangly looking old lady, the chicken hut that can get up and run around or move or whatever it may be. The mortar and pestle, which is how she gets around. If you know what a mortar and pestle is, it's used for grinding up your herbs and spices. She's got a big one. She basically sits in a big bucket, in a big bowl, the big mortar. Yes. And then the pestle's the rudder. Am I getting this the right way? Yeah, the pestle's the stick. So she steers her mortar and pestle like a boat rudder as she zooms around, flies around.
And what fuel does it run on?
Magic. The bones of... See, I think it's really effective.
Literally, the witch starts with them mortaring and pestling.
Like the movie, The Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're mortaring and pestling something.
Spoiler alert, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the duality of the Baba Yaga. She's got her car, her mortar and pestle she flies in, and then when she finds a delicious child, She can use her mortar and pestle to,
Right.
make a nice soup or a fragois or whatever you're vibing.
Gotcha.
It's a multi-purpose tool, but it's big. Baba Yaga also is sometimes pictured as having a mop or a broom, but she doesn't really use her broom like traditional, I guess Western witches or other pagan witch depictions. I think she uses it in a way cooler way. How do you think, you want to take a guess, how does Baba Yaga use her broom or her mop? She doesn't fly on it.
Is it like a wand? Does she use it to like transfigure things or something like that?
No.
Does she use it to sweep the floor?
Yes, she sweeps away her tracks so people can't follow her or find where she is.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's way more clever than just flying around on one.
I more meant like just
I know
cleaning
you
the house. Yeah.
She just likes to have a tidy space.
Yeah.
Keep it neat.
House proud. Or what does she live in?
Like a hut, the chicken hut.
Hut proud.
Hut proud. When seen inside of her dwelling, she may be found stretched out over her stove, or, with her big nose that reaches up to the roof potentially. It's a big pointy nose.
Big schnoz.
And when I say stretched over the stove, she's not literally on like a contemporary oven, like cooktop. She's not sitting on an open Bunsen. We're talking like old-timey hearth made of stone, like pizza oven, but big boy.
Right.
You could literally like lie on top of the stone and be warmed and not cooked.
Okay.
So she's like, me, if I lived in Slavic olden times, I would be sitting on top of that, keeping warm.
Okay.
But yeah. Typically as well, Baba Yaga is a multi-layered figure. So she's not just a witch that eats children. She does that also. Mm-hmm. But there's more interpretations. She's a bit more nuanced, or can be nuanced, I guess, because, again, such a broad range of people that tell the story or use her in stories. Mm-hmm. She may help or hinder those that encounter her or seek her out. So in some stories, she plays a maternal role, has associations with the forest wildlife, and in some folklore morphologies, Baba Yaga can be, appear as the donor, as the villain. She may be ambiguous. She literally almost whatever flavor you want to tell, she could possibly take that role, but her intentions are not obvious necessarily. Like, she's not always like the good guy or the bad guy, like it's some gods and spirits are. So to jump back a little bit, the origin of the name, there's a lot of variations depending where you go in Slavic regions. The first element of the word, the Baba, is a babble word. Alan, do you know what a babble word is?
Is that like baby talk?
Yep, nailed it. Ding ding ding.
Baba.
Yeah, go for it.
No, and you don't go for it either. No.
Yeah, what Alan said. Babble word is basically baby talk. It's a linguistics term for like, I love this word, the plosives, I think it is. Here we go. The exact word, bilabial consonants. So it's a M, a P, or a B with the open A. So ma, 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 ba, 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 pa, 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 da, da, mama, all that kind of jazz. So basically stuff that's super easy for a baby to make with their stupid little mouths. It's how they learn to talk, essentially, which is kind of lines up nicely with, I guess, humans. Mama, papa in English, chichi, haha, Japanese for, mum and dad. Basically, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Baby speaking or, calling someone mama or papa, or is it because it's the first thing a kid can kind of say? It's essentially super easy, but Baba, B-A-B-A, lines up with a lot in Slavic languages for grandmother or woman or, mama, like your grandma. So, for example, my family's Polish. My great-grandma was babcia. And, as a pet name, it could be Baba, that sort of thing. In Russian, babushka is grandma. Croatians, Macedonians, they've got also Baba as grandma. So that's like, the root word being old lady, old woman, grandma. Then the Yaga bit, or the Yaga, whichever pronunciation, excuse my horrific Australian accent, is a bit harder to nail down. There's a lot of, different opinions depending on which scholar you look at. So there's a list of things of words in Russian, Polish, Czech that it could relate to. Here's a list of here for the list that it could kind of line up with. There's like serpent and snake in Proto-Slavic. There is horror, shudder, chill in like Serbo-Croatian, anger in Czech, witch as well, wicked wood nymph, like evil woman, fury, like all of their disease, illness. I don't think any of the words in the list are anything positive. So it's pretty much just like old woman, insert bad adjective here sort of thing. So again, lots of interpretation.
Gotcha.
So in some of the tales as well, the trio of Baba Yagas appear as sisters, all sharing the same name. They're like a collective, again, the Baba Yaga. If you played The Witcher 3, the Swamp Witches, those three hags in the bog with what have very, very, I don't know, they're very creepily designed. Like their visuals are very uneasy. That's kind of like another interpretation or depiction of Baba Yaga, I would say.
Witches of the wood or ladies of the swamp or whatever. Yeah, they're not nice people.
Yeah, you've played more of Witcher than I have. How's the tale shake out with them in the quest?
They're very, like, what are they like, you mean? Or, yeah, they're very vindictive and, like, cruel. So they kind of like a genie, but a troll genie. So
like not like a goblin troll. You mean like a literal like haha trolled you on the internet?
Yeah, like whatever you wish for, they'll twist it into something cruel. You can give examples if you like.
Yeah.
Or the woman doesn't want to have another child with her like abusive husband or whatever. So she's like, yeah, I wish that, I wasn't having this kid. And then they're like, gotcha, fam. Here's a horrific miscarriage.
Right, yeah. So it's kind of like if you don't specify your wish.
Yeah, she might have thought they were just going to go, there you go,
absorbed.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a number of just stuff like, I want this. And it's like, okay, I'm going to make you go and, I'll help you out if you go and do this thing. So I'll go do the thing and, ends up being the thing you killed for them may have like been one of those, for the greater good, lesser of two evils, but it's still evil.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, basically anything that you ask of them, they're going to twist it in a way that makes you feel pretty bad afterwards.
Ripperoni. So with Baba Yaga as well and her chicken-legged hut that can kind of like run around or turn around, there's a lot of like different, not sing-songy, but like kind of little rhymes to say, hut, hut, like, turn your face to me, turn your back to the forest, to enter the hut. Don't know why you'd want to do that necessarily. There's a lot of, again, ambiguous. There's options. Maybe people are seeking out Baba Yaga for whatever it may be, help with their problems. Sure. But there's a lot of different rhymes, and we can kind of go into that with the Witcher TV series where they kind of depict that a little bit. But it's tricky to kind of nail down why her hut is on big old chicken thighs. There's a lot of different interpretations for it. One source that I found was kind of mentioning that apparently there's a lot of chickens in Slavic mythology. Apparently chickens can just access other worlds or dimensions. So keep an eye on your damn chickens, because apparently they're just wandering through our world into the next. So potentially her hut having chicken legs lets her pass through, human world into other world.
Okay.
That's only one source that I found. Again, it's like my Google results have sucked lately, and I don't have access to 1,200 actual books. So I would like to learn more about these myth chickens. Just, I don't know. Seems kind of cool.
Someone say KFC.
I don't get it. God damn it. I couldn't find a concrete answer as to the why necessarily of the chicken legs, but So for Baba Yaga, she's got a generally a busy kind of day. Leaves her hut in the morning and returns in the evening, and sometimes commands a flock of black geese to circle the skies looking for children. So she's out all day just looking for some tasty children. Sometimes she's gotta go hunt and gather, forage.
Right.
For little Timmies or something. In one story, Baba Yaga's black geese, two disobedient children, we've got Olga and Sergei here, they decide to sneak out of the house while their mother is at the market. I feel like we can kind of vibe where this is going. After she warned them not to go out when the geese are flying. Little Olga, little Sergei, the geese are out, do not go out. Sergei is snatched up and brought back to the Baba Yaga's hut for her dinner. Yum yum. And Olga is able to save her brother through the use of magical items. The two learn their lesson about not listening to their mother. So you can kind of start to, get a bit of a vibe check here.
It's a Hansel and Gretel type situation.
Kind of. I mean, I think weren't Hansel and Gretel kicked out of there? I think their parents were like, lol, you're expensive to feed, get out.
Oh, really?
I think so in different stories, but I guess same kind of vibe, like that witch in the
I thought they were just like chubbers, and they were like, oh, here's some breadcrumbs or something. I want to get some snacks.
No, they They used the breadcrumbs to find their way home.
Oh.
They were like making a trail, and then they found like the witch's hut that was like made of candy, and they're like, oh yum, das ist good candy. I get to play Fortnite.
So it's kind of like,
candy
yeah,
cola.
don't be eating too much candy,
Well,
kids.
just don't trust the witch tries to fatten them up to eat them.
Right. Don't take food from strangers.
Potentially, don't trust the witch in the forest. But I guess, yeah, similar kind of vibe, like the cautionary tales, and like you can start to see here folklore perspective, you know, Baba Yaga being that cautionary tale for kids. Be good or the Baba Yaga's gonna get ya, you know. Don't leave the house when mum's not at home or Baba Yaga's gonna get ya. Don't go in the woods, Baba Yaga's gonna get... That sort of thing.
Okay.
And from reading a few like posts online for people who grew up with the stories as well, it wasn't always just like, oh, Baba Yaga's evil. Like, you have to respect the Baba Yaga. She's kind of like synonymous, or can be synonymous with like the forest and the woods. So, you know, respecting your space, being a good little Timmy, you know, good things will happen. If you're bad things might happen. But like having that, it's not just supposed to be a monster to scare kids. It's like a bit more multi-layered in.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a good egg.
Don't go around being a dead shit.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Basically. For an incredibly nuanced, millennia-old monster.
Don't be shit.
Yeah. That's life lessons with Alan. Here's where I kind of started rabbit holing, because we've got a few other connotations with the Baba Yaga. Again, many stories, powerful witch who feeds on children. A couple of scholars referring to her in a book as, you know, may have been closely rooted to a Slavic goddess or an earth mother. So again, getting more into the nuance of not just witch in the woods, like a goddess of death or a god of nature in a bigger context sort of thing. Yeah, being the personification of nature, she could be, you know, cruel, kind of like how nature is. You know, a storm cloud or something could like come through and like tear up your crops, or it could, you know, have lovely weather and bring a nice harvest. It's kind of like that more...
It is what it is.
Yeah, a bit more... What's the word when it's conceptual? I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Ambiguous. A bit more ambiguous. Like her role is
unknown.
ambiguous. Yeah, she's a bit of a... Yeah. So additionally, even though she likes to, you know, get a good little kidnap on and eat the kids, you know, goes hunting for them through the day, nice big snack of Timmies in the night, she can also be seen as a catalyst for change. A lot of stories where she is basically an agent of transformation. She is, you know, helping the hero or the heroine, like, achieve self-actualization, achieve their goal, whether that be through, you know, a challenge or a trial or things like that might start as more of a negative. It's going to then give them the skill or the ability to achieve the positive sometimes. So, you know.
The lesson you learned along the way.
The real message, the real friends we made along the way was my enemies who Baba Yaga killed. I guess for one example of that, there's a story of Baba Yaga and the kind-hearted little girl. Aww. Insert the... Aww, sound effect here. Young girl and her widower father enjoy their days together until he remarries. Ugh, God. And the stepmother ends their times together, abuses the child without the father knowing. It's probably sounding a bit familiar to other, you know, tales, a la, you know, Cinderella. The evil stepmother sort of vibe. The stepmother sends the girl into the woods hoping that she'll be killed by the Baba Yaga. Really great. Someone should call docs or child protective services, but you know,
Good job, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. He's away on work. He doesn't know.
Yeah, okay.
You know, she's, you know, the duality of man. Yeah, basically hoping that the kid's going to get munched. But as the little girl goes through the forest, she's showing kindness to various elements of the forest, you know, respecting the animals or her surroundings, and like essentially she's a good little girl.
Sure.
She's been a little champion. And all these elements, you know, of being so kind to the forest helps her escape once she reaches the hut of the Baba Yaga. Or, I guess you could interpret it as the Baba Yaga maybe, you know, could have had an effect on helping her escape because she's not a little brat. Once the girl returns home, she's forced by her father to explain where she's been. The stepmother is kicked out of the house and the father and the daughter return to their former life together. So it's kind of like, again, a bit more nuanced.
Yep.
But, you know, it's not necessarily that Baba Yaga's just like a stay out of the woods story.
Yeah, I suppose you see quite a lot of that these days. People like darker, edgier kind of stuff. And a lot of the people that grew up watching Disney movies as a kid are like adults now. So you are seeing that a bit with like Hollywood bringing out darker versions of Snow White
Grimm's
or
tales and
the Brothers Grimm.
I mean, those ones are always kind of, as the name goes, a bit grim, but they were sanitized and then I guess unsanitized over the years.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but yeah, like there's always different versions of tales, and probably just, you know, invented that way to be like, I want to terrify my child, or I just want to teach my kid a bit of a morality lesson.
Yeah, and it makes sense given the context of the time as well. Like you're not, you know, having 8 kids for the fun of it. You're having 8 kids because half of them are probably going to die before they're 10 years old. Like nature is harsh. You know, we haven't got air conditioning or, you know, these amazing deluxe winter jackets that keep us warm. Like you are
medicine.
Yeah, medicine, a shelter that is impervious to wind and rain. Like it's, you know, the more things you can do to keep your kid from drowning in the lake, getting lost in the forest, touching the wild bear. All of those things have a purpose, and I guess of being of that time. I'm sure if you told a 4-year-old today, you go into the woods and a bear will eat your face, like that's pretty intense. But, you know, given that back in the day, a lot of kids would be growing up literally a couple hundred meters probably from a bear in the woods, it's a lot more literal and impactful for like, do not go to there.
Yeah.
Full stop. Whereas a kid today is probably like, you know, I don't know, don't talk to the strange man at the McDonald's. Like, don't go to your teacher's house after school. It's a bit more like contextual. Like it's not a literal. This next little bit that I kind of read into was where I started like, you know, and it's like references to other gods, other spirits, other things. This is kind of where the wheels fall off, and I started like being like, what's that mean? What is this other creature? Oh, a spirit of the wood. Okay, so we're going to try and wrap Bubba Yaga neatly, but just leading it up with, there's a lot of similarities between Bubba Yaga and other beings in folklore. This could be literal translation, cultural, you know, connection between the regions, that sort of thing. There's a lot for, you know, links to these Bulgarian forest mother. We've got, you know, Serbian, an iron-toothed woman that's kind of used to scare people, the Baba Yaga. We've got Bosnian, Croatian, Montenegro, like Serbian, a whole bunch. There's a lot of forest mother references, and that took me down this whole forest mother tangent that we'll get to.
Right.
There's also kind of links to Germanic. So like I guess as you get closer to the German side of things, that's where stories change a bit, I guess, in terms of like the regional pockets. Some Germanic stories between Perchta. I never know how to say that name, but I've read about it before. So Perchta, who is like another figure in German mythology, which we're gonna jump into her because she's got a fun one. We'll do like a quick drive by of her in a sec. But yeah, so you know, Baba Yaga, it can be something as simple as like stay out of the damn woods, you kids, or it can be more nuanced for driving force, folklore, you know, tales for aspirations for adults, children, a whole bunch of things. So yeah, a lot more complex, and I'd love to do a bit more reading about. And I think it's Baba Yaga gets to be a very popular contemporary story because of that, because there's so many options for her. It can be spooky witch, or it can be more nuanced, like we were saying before. The Baba Yaga house in the Witcher series. Shout out to our friend Robin, who worked on the special effects for Witcher, the season 2. Big congrats, it's pretty cool. But like, you know, I want to read the Witcher books, I haven't. We've played the Witcher games, you've played more of them / finished them. I kind of just been playing through here and there.
Got the worst ending that you can get.
Congrats.
Pumped 80 hours into it and didn't realise that there was like seemingly
innocuous
decisions that are like, oh, you told someone to be careful, they're dead. Like 50 hours later, and I'm like, what?
What have I done?
Yeah, just thought Freya, which is kind of Nordic.
Yeah.
She, in the God of War game, she's the witch in the woods, and her cabin is on the
world turtle thing.
A turtle.
Yeah. Or not the world turtle, sorry. Yeah.
But the whole world turtle, like going through the universe thing, is similar to your chickens.
I guess, yeah, because it's probably going to be depending on the area. Like, a turtle's endemic to Poland or to Russia, I don't know, but that could be like a similar thing where it's like, you know, the translation or as a story moves through the world, you know, Norse mythology, we've got the turtle hut. as that travels down through other cultures. It was a legged hut. Maybe it was a chicken. Chicken leg hut. Yeah, the Bubba Yaga with a chicken leg. Potential for stories to change for sure.
Yeah.
In the Witcher series as well, like this current season that we're in, I guess no spoilers, but I mean it's pretty early on. Like the Deathless Mother, like that character in the hut. There's kind of like these references to this spirit mother, the Deathless Mother, and then like you physically see the hut, and I'm like, this is like there's like something in my brain here. I feel like I've seen, and like the hut stands up, and I'm like, oh, she's a Baba Yaga. Like that's cool. Like the hut stands up. I think in the show it's technically on basilisk legs, which is still chicken legs because the basilisk that they show is like the snake head chicken legs sort of vibe. But yeah, pretty cool modern depiction as well. Any other context that you got to add for Baba Yaga, Witcher or otherwise, Alan, that you know of? Do you get to defeat them in Witcher? Because they're the three sisters in The Witcher in the game. Do you get to defeat them, or do they like eat? I know they eat a lot of kids. They sure do eat a lot of orphan kids in that game, but...
Yeah, that's, I mean, the game's been out for a long time, so it's going to spoil it.
Spoil boy, skip ahead 30 seconds.
Yeah, skip ahead like a minute or something. So basically, that's one of the things they're like, go kill this tree god thing. And if you do that, I'll tell you how to find your daughter. But it turns out, like, basically, the tree god is stopping the Baba Yagas from eating 8 orphans. And you have to be like, oh, do I want to find my daughter? Or this tree god thing could be lying and it could be evil. But yeah, it turns out that like if you do the thing they ask you to do to find your daughter, then they're going to eat 8 kids.
Yeah. But you don't have any context. There's no way
you
for you to
don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, this tree could be evil or it might not be. And
yeah,
either way, something bad kind of happens.
Yeah. So like...
But you get the benefit of knowing where your daughter is. So, you know, they follow through on their end of the bargain, right?
Yeah, I'm sure your daughter will be stoked that
8 little kids.
8 innocent children eaten
Consumed.
by horrible, disgusting...
Swamp women.
Yeah.
Swamp hags. Yeah, you know, look, the greater good.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these kind of stories all, as you said, have their own versions everywhere, and they've probably been influenced off everything.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a progenitor, like the base template, and then all the different regions go, oh yeah.
Different flavours. Yeah. I guess if you're like maybe in the desert, you're not going to have like a don't drown tale sort of thing, or like there's not going to be like a swamp witch, but you might have a sandwich maybe.
A sandwich?
I didn't mean to do that. You might have a desert witch, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be kind of interesting. I wonder the flavours around the world.
I was sort of wondering, I'd be interested to know like...
I wonder like Arabian folklore or something. That'd be kind of cool.
African,
or like Middle East folklore kind of stuff. That'd be really interesting actually. We will look into that. As I mentioned before as well, we're gonna deviate now. We're gonna start going through my Zoe's side tangents of demigods, folk creatures and spirits. Okay. I just found some cool ones. So we're going to kind of like, not speed run, but we're going to go through a few different ones. So I mentioned just before, Perchta. So this lovely lass was the upholder of cultural taboos. So this is kind of in the Bavaria, Austria, that kind of flavour.
Sure.
Upholder of cultural taboos such as the prohibition against spinning on holidays. And I don't mean doing like twirly whirlies. I mean like literally spinning cloth and, you know, basically do not work on holidays or I'll
Sabbath.
Yeah, kind of. This is kind of, I think she's still pre-Christianity.
Okay.
Or might be early, like I guess that's part of the reason I didn't mention as well before. A lot of reasons for Baba Yaga or other Slavic stories not having just a full concrete, you know, here's a tale like the Greeks or the Norse, is that a lot of things weren't physically written down until Christianity. And then, of course, Christianity coming through, changing the flavour a little bit, potentially. You know, it's some things get like, you know, lost in translation or lost in nuance or yada yada. So Perchta was said to roam the countryside at midwinter and to enter homes during the 12 days between Christmas and Epiphany. She would know whether the young children and young servants of the household had behaved well and if they'd worked hard all year. Good old child labour. If they had, they might find a small silver coin next to their bed, in a shoe or in a pail, which I guess is kind of similar to, Sinterklaas leaves you like lollies in your shoes sort of thing in Germanic stuff. I was about to say why are shoes so special, but I guess like shoes are an essential part of living back in the day. Hey, if you don't have foot protection, you're not a very functional member.
Depending where you live.
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
gonna be a struggle
You're
stream.
gonna get
Yeah.
ice bite.
Yeah, or just step on something that kills you.
Yeah.
Gangrene. If they worked hard, like good little child labourers, good little Timmies tending to the fields, get yourself a coin. If they had not worked hard, and if they'd been little bad Timmies, little bad Tomex all year. Pop quiz, Alan. What do you think Perchita's vibe was? If Bubba Yaga likes to, eat the kids in the woods or grind them up into a nice goo, what's Perchita's vibe, do you reckon?
I don't know, she'd cut their hands off or something.
But then they couldn't work hard next year if she chopped their hands off. I mean, still, probably what she does isn't any better, but would you like to know?
Yeah, just tell me.
She would slit their bellies open, remove their stomach and guts, and stuff the hole with straw and pebbles.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a good motivator to work hard.
Yeah, sure is, Skip. My belly slit. Good lordy. She would also slit the bellies open. Same shtick, the slit and stuff method for people, I guess adults as well. If they ate something on the night of her feast day, other than the traditional traditional meal of fish and gruel.
Gruel.
Yeah, so if you ate anything but the fish and gruel,
Yeah.
get big old tummy slit and stuff. So no Big Macs.
Yeah, KFC.
Yeah. No hut legs for dinner on her feast day. Fun little sidetrack there.
Seems a bit extreme.
I mean, I would be motivated I'd be ploughing the fields from dusk till bloody dawn if the upshot was getting my guts spilled.
Yeah.
I'm motivated. That's all I needed to get, my day started. The threat of Perchta. We've got another fun one for you. The Kikimura. How do you feel about sleep paralysis, Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
I've had it before.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing from The Witcher too, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah, the name, the Kiki. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've heard, yeah. There's a lot of these that cross over, like the
traps
Leshe
people in a dream.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yes.
Tortures them in the dream.
Yeah.
Won't let them wake up.
Yeah. Good stuff. Classic stuff, yeah. The Kikimura is a legendary creature. She's a female house spirit in Slavic mythology. We're going to get into her counterparts. So she's juxtaposed with the Domovoi, which is like the good guy of the house, kind of. So, she's kind of like the bad vibes in the home. When the Kikimura inhabits the house, she apparently lives behind the stove or in the cellar and makes like mouse sounds to try and get food. Be like, "Oi, I'm a mouse, feed me." I don't know if you're supposed to feed the mouse in your house, but that works for her, I guess. And it's kind of like one of the first potential traditional explanations for sleep paralysis in Russian folklore. Like this depiction of the Kikimura lines up pretty well with like symptoms of sleep paralysis. And we'll jump into like some of her traits. Sure. The words in her name kind of like link to like quite literally like bad spirit, bad dream, nightmare. So she's quite literally like bad vibes nighttime. So in Polish folklore as well, the Mora are the souls of living people that leave the body during the night. They're seen as wisps of straw or as hair or as moths. So it's kind of like, normal human goes to sleep, your spirit leaves and goes and wanders around and comes back in the morning sort of thing. So it's like the tie-in for the exact word, like Mora being spirit and stuff. Again, can go by a few different names, the Mora, the Mara. And in Slav mythology, Mara was a dark spirit, takes the form of a beautiful woman, visits men in their dreams and tortures them with desires and, drags the life out of them. Like kind of got a bit, succubus kind of energy, I guess, in that depiction, but more specifically in dreams. So the common belief is that the Mora enters the room through a keyhole and sits on the chest of the sleeper and tries to strangle them. Thanks.
The X-Files did an episode of that too.
Yeah. So I guess like in terms of lining up with actual human physiology as well, like a common symptom, a common effect of sleep paralysis is like people having the feeling of someone sitting on their chest, having a nightmare that someone is on them while they're sleeping, or feeling like weighted down because, scientifically your body's trying to like wake up and you haven't got control to get up. So the sensation is that you're being held down. Yeah. Got a 10-kilo blanket on you.
So we're doing this podcast, we're getting cursed.
Yeah, the winds be howling, man. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the winds we are summoning in some, I'm going to cleanse this house. To repel the Moras, children are advised to look at the window or turn to their pillow and make a sign of the cross on their pillow.
Right.
Also, in the early 19th century, there are mentions that people would repel the Moras by leaving a broom upside down or behind the door, or putting their belt on top of their sheets, or saying elaborate prayer poems before going to sleep. I don't know what's the modern way of avoiding sleep paralysis. Just like get off your phone. Meditate. Yeah.
Meditate, decrease stress.
Super easy things to do. Yeah. Just eliminate stress from your life.
Stressed out? Stop it. Okay.
Get help.
When I had sleep paralysis, I Googled it. And it was like, yeah, if you're like very, very stressed out and your mind is very busy when you're going to sleep, like that increases your chance of experiencing it. So I tried really hard to just sort of do like, because you were away, you were overseas at the time. So I was home alone too, which sucked. But yeah, I just sort of did guided meditation and made sure I was trying to get regular hour, like go to bed at a sensible time.
Did you at any point try putting a broom upside down behind your door?
I didn't.
Okay. We'll have to try that next time though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did that like as a kind of, if you actually think there's something getting into your room and sitting on you,
Like you
it's
see
like,
it, yeah.
well, I'm putting a broom there, so if it comes through the door, that's going to fall over and wake me up.
Maybe.
So maybe that relaxes you a bit.
Or maybe like if you see something standing in your doorway, you can be like, oh, it's my broom. That's the broom I put there, not like whatever your mind is conjuring up as a horrid image. Or maybe there's just another...
Yeah.
It's probably another reason for the broom, but you know. For the Kikimuras as well, there's two different kinds. One that comes from the forest and is married to the domovoi, and one that comes from the swamps and is married to a leshe, which I think a lot of these terms again pop up in Witcher stuff. A lot of, everyone's kind of jumping on that cool Slavic bandwagon these days. It is said that she can be identified by her wet footprints, so keep your peepers out for any soggy feet in the home. Apparently as well, when home builders, if they wanted to cause harm to someone buying a house, you could bring in a Kikimura. Just be like, oi, come on in and screw the next person that buys this house, which is pretty nasty, I guess, if you wanted to, I don't know what the point is there, but maybe you know the person.
Lost some money on the house and you're like...
Stuff this investment.
Yeah.
Get a Kikimura installed.
Bank's making me sell this house. Anyone buys it, I'm going to just curse them.
Cursed, yeah. Apparently once she's in, it's very difficult to get her to leave, so... Yeah, it's just full of goblins, yeah. That's it, slaps roof a car. This boy's got so many Kikimuras.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, as bonus points as well, the swamp Kikimura, if you find her out and about, she, is believed to frighten people, knock travellers off the road, drown them, and bonus points, kidnaps kids. So, you got a little bit of everything.
She's got it all.
I feel like this should be a pop quiz and you have to guess which one of these don't kidnap kids. The answer is probably none of them don't kidnap kids. So, it's a popular trend. Apparently, though, if your house is in order, the Kikimura, enjoys looking after your chickens and your housework. Again, these chickens popping up again in the folklore. So,
okay.
If she's not keen, she's going to be whistling, breaking dishes, making noises at night, and apparently might come out at night to spin your thread. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but she's touching your thread.
I'm going to spin your thread tonight.
Watch out and take care of your chickens. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, a little bit of flavour. I like that it's not, they can't just be one thing. They can't just be like a nightmare thing. It's like, even if you're not having nightmares, maybe I'll touch your chickens, So you got options. Going into as well the husbandos of the Kikimura, as we mentioned, the leshe and the domovoi. Just for some funsies, we'll go a little site. Maybe as we go through these, maybe some of them will become nicer or kinder. Maybe not. The domovoi is kind of like the good guy, like the counterpart. Like maybe not necessarily like literal marriage, but like the counterpart, the like household spirit of that family. Mm-hmm. So deified progenitors, there's your word coming back. The ancestors of the kin, tied in that sort of way. So again, spirits of the household. And has many functions. And if you want to simmer it down to be super, super basic, do good things, take good care of your house, he's going to be stoked. The domovoi keen on keeping the kids safe, keeping the chickens safe, keeping the family happy. The domovoi as well can be, they're kind of gods, and they're represented as fighting with one another. So I guess if you've got like a bit of a family conflict with, Dave down the road, your domovoi might be punching on in the spirit world. Additionally, shout out to the domovoi if you're having fights with our neighbours or something. I hope you're doing well. And kind of just in general sharing the joys and the sorrows of the family. They can become angry and reveal their demonic aspects. There you go. Not everything can't just be nice. If the family is corrupted by bad behaviour and language. If you say bum too many times.
Curse words in the house.
If you've been a bit, nasty. Domovoi's not going to be keen. They can quit and just leave. Be like, F this, I'm done, y'all suck, your house is unprotected against illness, against calamity, against crisis, bye-bye. And just can bounce out, apparently. So you gotta do the right thing. Keep your Domovoid happy.
I think all these stories are just mechanisms of control.
Oh, absolutely,
Like,
probably.
mow your lawns and clean your shit.
Yeah.
Or a demon's gonna get you.
Yeah.
And it's like...
But then there's also like if you do all the good things will happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a risk and reward.
Yeah.
It's like, well, as long as you're keeping your house clean, you're mowing your lawns and doing your edges.
Yeah.
Putting your garbage bins in after they get emptied.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep the house demons happy.
And you're gonna keep your neighbor spirits happy too, because you're not leaving like trash out the front. There's gonna be less conflict. Your Domovoy are gonna be high-fiving each other, not punching on. Yeah. All the keeping social rules in check, sort of thing. Yeah.
No bloodletting. No, don't go kill your neighbour because you're angry
animals.
with them.
Oh, sorry.
Just go look after your house.
Yeah.
Look after your stuff and...
There is a little bit of bloodletting if you want to do
Okay.
an animal sacrifice, though.
Aw, man.
Just a little bit, maybe a little chicken, just a little chicken offering in KFC.
But then the angry demon lady likes the chickens. Then she's gonna... This is just creating more issues.
There's a lot of chicken murder and stealing for even the ones that like the chickens as well. Kind of. There's a bit of crossover.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like, there's more simple offerings you can do for your Domovoy. So like, offering your leftover food from meals. But yeah, in the cases of the great anger, a sacrifice of a rooster at midnight. So, rip.
And that might solve your problems with your neighbours if your rooster keeps waking them up.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe your rooster won't shut up. That could be. It's like, thank God we gotten rid of that guy. Additionally, I guess if you're going to be building a new house, you have to acquire yourself a Domovoy. So there's a lot of practices you can do to welcome in, a Domovoy to your newly built house. So you got to, be like, hey, come on here. Like lots of different things. So, either offerings of a hen or slices of bread from the first dinner in the new house, that kind of jazz. Get the house occupied.
Yeah.
Get your house spirit on board. Yeah. And, be a good egg and hopefully good things happen.
I feel like there's a bit of that in Japanese culture.
Bread?
No, like the house.
Oh, like the house spirits.
House spirits and forest spirits and...
Yeah, absolutely.
Putting offerings out to keep them happy.
Yeah. Well, what for Shintoism in general in Japan is like everything has a spirit or an essence. So it's like the rain has a spirit. Every individual forest has a spirit. The rivers have a spirit. Thunder and lightning in general have a spirit. Like everything in that sort of way where it's like, if someone isn't giving offerings to your local forest, the forest will die sort of thing. Like if you forget about them and don't feed them or that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely. The other option was as well for the Kikimura to be, partnered or combined with the Leshe, which I think that gets brought up a lot in Witcher. They're kind of like the more tree folky lad in the woods. So it's kind of like a deity. They mentioned in the beliefs for Eastern and Western Slavs as a god of the forest, lord of the Leshes, typically described as a masculine humanoid in shape. They can also just change their size and height, apparently, the Leshe, sometimes spread with horns or surrounded by a pack of wolves and bears. They're known to, would you like to have a guess? Would they have a propensity to lead travelers astray and
eat them?
Or that, no, comma, the other thing they like to do, lead travelers astray and...
Kidnap their children?
Absolutely, yes. Kidnap children. Woohoo! Which you might think would lead people to believe that, the Leshe could be an evil entity. However, they're more of the neutral, somewhere in the grey zone, like just, I guess like an animal, kind of like doing their own thing. No bear is evil for eating a person. They might just be hungry.
The neutral child predator.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Who knows? Maybe they get to, grow up nice and happy in the woods, which literally, it's going to reflect, again, the attitudes of the local population towards the forest. He's the forest guy.
Don't go wandering. If
people are being chill with the forest, they're good. But they can also, apparently here, the Leshe could take children who were cursed by their relatives away to the forest. So it could be for good reasons, could be for bad reasons. Again, a bit more grey. Like the kid might have been literally abandoned and they're like, oh, yoink. Kind of class the Leshe a bit more like a fairy. Like you don't know what their intentions. I'm talking old-timey fairy, not like a literal modern day pixie. Like the fairy and the fae being I do what I want to do, sort of thing. Yeah.
Mechanisms of control.
Yep.
Kid, be good or I'll curse you.
And you'll go live with the Leshe man.
The Leshe will come and get you.
Kind of like we're at the point where we're going to start to take like the right hand turn and bring it back to the loop. So we're in the home stretch kind of here for Zoe's rabbit hole of random Slavic myths and things, and I think you're gonna enjoy the surprise plot twist at the end here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've still got kind of like 2 paragraphs, but like there's a plot twist.
Okay.
I think you won't see it coming. We're going to touch on quickly, like, you know, the earth goddess, the forest. We've been talking a lot about like the woods, etc. We're going to jump into Vesna. So Vesna in Ukrainian, again, also Slavic, pops up a bit in Slovenia, Macedonia, Serbia, Croatia, Poland. I should just say Slavic, whatever. Vesna as a mythological female character associated with youth and the springtime. So they're getting into the more positive zone here.
Okay.
More just associated with the coming of spring, winter going away, like, oh my God, finally we can have crops again and eat. The springtime is here.
Yeah.
Thank Jesus. Well, not thank Jesus, thank Vesna. So for a lot of people, and practice is still done today in Ukraine, in Russia, in Poland, all that kind of jazz, singing songs to the spring season that is Vesna. Like in some of the languages as well, Vesna literally just means spring, or it's like a nice, pretty word for springtime. In Slavic mythology, the Vesnas were described as beautiful women, and they lived in palaces atop the mountains where they discussed the fate of the crops and the human inhabitants. A magical circle around their palaces kept them from leaving the mountain, except during February, so, springtime, when they would travel in wooden carts down to the valley below. Only certain people were capable of hearing them singing, and if people decided to sneak up to the mountain palaces, they might learn their own fates, but risked a very unpleasant end if they were caught by the Vesnas. So no peeking. You gotta, your fates, you're not supposed to know,
Yeah.
These songs to the Vesnas are referred to as Vesnyanka, again, Australian accent, sorry, but that's still what they're called today, like Ukrainian songs, or like, again, other, whatever it is in the other languages. Singing the song at springtime, you get all your homies together in your nice traditional dresses, you get in circles, sing the nice songs, and bring in the springtime. It's one of the things that's kind of like still managed to persevere despite, a lot of the Christian spreading that happened in times gone. These kind of like actual folk traditions still happen today, which is nice.
Yeah.
Now, some of my astute listeners might see where this is going. They might know what this word is already. Alan's got no clue, so that's okay. But essentially, yeah, big springtime dances, summon in awaken the springtime. If you don't sing the songs, springtime might come later. You want to like get rid of the winter, bring in the spring nice and early.
Eurovision.
He's done it. He's done it, boys. He has figured it out. And our plot twist, our M. Night Shyamalanian twist is the best song of 2021 Eurovision. Yeah. That's the way. You nailed it.
And is she saying Vesna? Vesna?
It's in there, yeah. Yeah, she's like literally saying Vesnayanka, like is the, like, nailed it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I played it on loud that much in the house. But the song Shum by Goa, which was the Ukrainian candidate last year, 10 out of 10. If you haven't listened to the song, I recommend it. Song is S-H-U-M, Shum. Shum by Goa. It's great. It's an absolute bop, but it is quite literally, it's like, to describe, again, I can't really play the music here because copyright, but to describe music to you using my mouth sounds, my words, it is like, it's all in Ukrainian, an absolute bop of a track, and you're like, yeah, what is this cool, like, hardcore, cyber poppy beat that's going on here? The song is literally about sowing seeds for the crops for the spring harvest. Like, the lyrics are like literally sowing crops, like, let's awaken the springtime. But it's like this, like, yeah, dunce, like, awesome beat.
Okay.
Play it when you're at the gym. You will lift weight 2 times heavier than you thought possible. It is a great, like, pump up song. But yeah, that's our plot twist. Going into Shum, this song about the springtime, bringing in the springtime. So the word Shum, as a literal translation, is just like big old noise. Like, it just literally means big noise. But if you're going to get more nuance in it, it's kind of referring to the songs and referring to like specifically like the gods of spring, because they're like multi-layered, like the Vesna and many other bits and pieces in there. It's like, you're not just like, the word doesn't mean just like, oh, make a big noise. It's like, we're going to sing together, bring out the spring,
sure,
happy days. Additionally, I'd recommend watching the film clip for Shum. I kept watching just like the Eurovision performance, and I kind of missed a lot of the nuance in the actual film clip. But there's like combinations of in the stage performance in Eurovision. They've got, you know, basically depicting as like all the other characters in the band or the dancers are in like grey, white, monochrome. There's like these dead trees as like the stage props. And the only colour in the whole performance is the lead singer has this kind of like grassy, torn up shawl around her shoulders, like this neon green. Like, this is, you know, the awakening of the springtime sort of thing in her costuming. In the like video clip as well, it's like this combination of cyberpunk meets steampunk meets like driving through the snow in Ukraine. And they're like literally filming it at the exclusion, like the Chernobyl exclusion zone. So we've got multi-layered here as well, with the whole like bringing in the springtime, but then also filming the film clip in like a radioactive hotspot of like, you know, the nuances there sort of thing. And to bring it all home for us in our final wrap up of, you know, the modern day like, you know, translation of these things. This is from an interview with the band's producer, like the producer of like, you know, the stage performance / production, and one of the band members of Goa. Quoting here, "The inspiration came from the original Ukrainian folk and dance. Our ancestors used that to wake up the spirit of the forest and spring. The song is about the evocation of spring, but for us in the 21st century, and in times of a pandemic, it's more about evocation of people from everyday's problems. It's about looking around and thinking about what we've done to our world, how we can improve it, and pass it on to our children. It's about evocation of life." Nice. And it's like, I think that kind of brings us in a nice little loop of, you know, from, you know, folk tale of old being necessary to keep your kids alive, to being, you know, cautionary tales, to them being inspirational tales, to then being, you know, more metaphorical of like, how do we treat each other and the world around us as adults and going forward. It's kind of nice. Circle of life.
I guess all those, any kid's story has some kind of morality thing to it. So they've just been around for a long time. And they used to be scarier than what they are now.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, here's a kid that, you know, that kid that plays the guitar and then he dies. And
I'm like, what are you talking? The Coco Disney movie. Yeah. Oh my
like,
God. Yeah.
Oh, it's heartwarming. It's just like,
Don't make me cry.
Value your family and like, don't be a little dead shit. But like back in the day, it was like, you know, a tree monster's going to kidnap you if you...
Yeah. I think we've, you know, as a society as well, evolved for the heavier concepts. And, you know, as a world society, we've never been more educated, connected, etc. than we are now. A lot of the concepts might be like more future cautionary as opposed to there's a bear in the woods is current cautionary. As a, you know, like global warming or like what are we doing for the future is like, you know, putting our headspace on for like what can we do now to preserve the future is like almost a new folklore could evolve possibly as well, you know, in a way. Yeah. I did also task Alan with the challenge, secret reveal of the challenge here, at the start or before recording today. I asked Alan to invent and create just a 60-second thing. Invent and create a unique folk creature, folk person, make your own, basically build your own Bubba Yaga. Go to Build a Bubba and give us a quick 60-second cautionary tale and who your creature is, what their name is, what they do, and what is your tale to prevent, you know, kids from getting got by the real life threat and the Bubba Yaga threat. So Alan, what have you created for us today to round out the episode?
The dangers of the ocean
Oh, yeah.
are well documented.
Yeah.
On a TV show called Bondi Rescue.
We are, as they say in that song, we are girt by sea.
Yes. So you'll see in Bondi Rescue, there's just constantly people nearly drowning.
Yes.
My Bubba Yaga is called the Ripper.
Right. Okay, the Ripper. It doesn't sound very like folky though, hey?
It's aptly named
All right.
off the ocean.
Of
rips.
course. Yep.
Yeah.
The Ripper.
And
Could we call it like Rip Rip or something?
We
Rip
could.
Rip.
Bubba Ripper.
Ripper Yaga.
And basically,
Ripsy.
the reason that there's yellow and red flags on the beach is because the Bubba Ripper doesn't like Germany.
What?
I don't know. Aren't they red, yellow, and black?
Yeah, but the swing flags are not.
Anyway,
Okay,
you got to swim between the flags or the Bubba Ripper's going to get you.
Right. So the flags are not just to denote that the lifeguards are at the beach. It actually deters the Bubba Ripper as well.
Yeah. Bubba Ripper doesn't like that colour.
She doesn't like primary colours.
So basically, the flags act as a border mechanism that the Bubba Ripper cannot penetrate.
Like a magic circle almost.
Yeah.
Protection circle.
Yeah.
Protection ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Do the lifeguards have to bless in this tale? Do the lifeguards bless they go out and put the flags out each morning?
Yeah.
Do they say a little something to bless the flags from the Bubba Ripper?
They say, "Stay between the flags, you fucking idiot." No.
They say, just a reminder, guys, that the flags are there for a reason. Please swim between the flags at all times. The kid with the blue boogie board, yeah, mate, this is no surfboards in between the flags. Thank you.
They pour a VB out on the beach sand at sunset every day
to honour those that were taken by the Bubba Ripper. They don't speak about it. It's a cover-up. They don't speak about it. They're risking their lives, and every time someone's outside the flags and they, Bondi Rescue, they're out there like swimming and, saving them. They are, I wonder if if they're accumulating curses upon themselves because they're taking away feasts from the Bubba Ripper. Is that almost like you're like a witch hunter sort of thing? Like they've been tasked with this sacred duty to protect the humans from the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah. But that might be at a burden to them.
I'm not privy to their inside workings, but there are mechanisms in which they cleanse themselves of this bad Bubba Ripper.
The beach showers aren't just beach showers.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's blessed.
It's holy water in the beach showers. Or
they put a ladle of VB into the water tank.
Just to cleanse the pool, yeah.
That's right.
Beautiful. Love it. Bubba Ripper, Stay Between the Flags, A Cautionary Tale by Alan Kinter. I feel like that would work. That would work today still. Yeah. I like it. Sold. Okay. Ship it, put it on a t-shirt. Bubba Ripper. Swim between the flags, you dog.
Yeah.
Love it. Is there anything else you'd like to add for folktale of the Slavic flavour? I want to add that I'm gonna continue this rabbit hole and keep looking into this because it's really cool. I feel like mythology in general is really cool.
No, not really. I can't think of anything. I mean, it made me think when we get to N, I could definitely talk about Norse mythology.
Yeah, you know way more about that than me. Yeah. I know about Freya.
That could be one of mine. But I also claimed M.
That's okay. I did back-to-back A and B.
Yeah.
So next week is C, episode C. Yeah. Alan, what's on the cards for episode C?
Cats.
Cats? What are we going to learn about cats? Who knows? No spoilers. So much. The origin of cats? Who are cats and how do they work?
No, not the origin.
Oh, the musical Cats? Good Lord. Oh, thank God.
No, cats.
Cats.
Big cats?
Yep.
Like
all kinds of cats?
Yeah.
Cool cats. Thank you for this coming on this word journey of the Bubba Yaga and many other things with a plot twist ending of Eurovision. It's greatly appreciated. Stay out.
You snuck that in there.
I did. I was like, you know what?
Wouldn't have
Boy, howdy, we got it. You wouldn't have showed up if you knew it was Eurovision.
Yeah.
Wait for episode E.
No. That would be one to tune into on a visual sense if it is about that.
No, I think
so
I'll almost be sad because I can't sample the music.
I'll just see me slowly like getting crushed.
You'll wither away.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Keep your eyes out for the Bubba Ripper. Stay safe, champions. Thank you for listening as always. If you want to follow us on the socials, on the Twitter, podcast A2Z, A number 2, and then the Z. Yeah, slap a little cheeky follow there for if you want to know when episodes go up, because we're trying to, it's going to be weekly, but our first episode was up to a weird schedule. So, yeah, keep your eyes peeped, your ears peeped, all that jazz.
Indeed.
Love your guts, and we'll
catch you next time.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, he did. He actually said goodbye. I thought he was going to wave again.